So you've decided to do a straw bale garden. The first big decision you've got to make is where you're going to put it. And I've got exciting news for you because that decision is not as daunting as it might seem. I want to give you a few simple principles that will help you make a good decision, and then a plan B if for some reason the site that you choose doesn't work out. Okay? Rule number one, you want to plant your garden where the sun is shining. Your plants are going to need full sun. That full sun is going to be important to get the heat, to get your bales cooking and ready to plant. And of course, plants love sunshine. That's the way God made them. And if you're planting in the shade, you're going to find that very difficult to get enough sun to your plants. You can't give them more sunshine. But if your garden is in the full sun and the weltering heat of the summer, the sunshine gets to be too much, with some of the things we're going to do, it's going to be super easy to give your plants a little bit of shade and protect them from that sun. So you want to plant in the full sunshine. All right. Thing number two that you want to consider is accessibility. Because this is your garden, you're going to have to work in it. You're going to be there maintaining it and watering it and fertilizing it. You're going to be there harvesting the crop. You want to plant it somewhere where you can get to it and work around it. And so with that in mind, these straw bales are going to go in a single row. It's going to be one bale wide, not 2 or 3 bales wide. That way it's easy to work all the way around it. And, so that row can be 2, 3, 4, 5, as many bales long as you want. And you can do as many rows as you want. You might do a row over here, then do an aisle, then do another row over here, and so on. My garden has 4 rows of 5 bales in it. And so as you're thinking about where you're going to put your garden, think about how many bales you're going to plant and where they will fit and how you'll be able to lay that out. Okay, now maybe you live in the city and you don't have a lot of land and you don't have very good locations to put that. That's okay. Because with the straw bale garden, you can put it on concrete, you can put it on asphalt, you can put it on a porch or a balcony or a patio, you can even put it on a wood deck. The only thing that I would qualify that with is if you're going to put your straw bale garden on a wood deck, you're going to need to lay down a good vapor barrier, some plastic sheeting or something like that to protect your wood from all the moisture that's in your garden. Now, in our next lesson, we're going to talk about don't use plastic sheeting. If you're planning on a wood deck, that's not for you. Use the plastic sheeting if you're on a wood deck, but otherwise, you don't want that. Also, if you're planning on concrete or asphalt, we're going to talk about driving fence posts in our next lesson. And it's really hard to drive a fence post in concrete. That's okay. There's a simple alternative plan, a wooden frame that you can build that will sit right on the concrete, won't do any damage to your property, and will achieve the same purpose. And so that's one of the great things about straw bale gardening is you can do it just about anywhere, no matter how much or how little land you have. And also, when you think about accessibility, it could be that maybe you're concerned about people coming into your garden and stealing your crops when you're not there. If that's the case, you can plant your garden as close to the house as you need to be able to protect it and keep those crops safe. And so that's another plus to this. Okay, so let's talk about what happens if you choose the wrong place. You very thoughtfully and carefully chose the site for your garden. You thought it was great, and you get a few weeks into the growing season, you realize this is not a good place. I really wish that I put my straw bale garden somewhere else. That's okay. Just put it somewhere else. That's the great thing about straw bales is you can pick them up and you can move them. Now, after you have cooked those bales and conditioned those bales and you've got plants growing in them, they're going to be a little bit looser, a little bit more fragile, so you're going to want to be careful with them. You may need to use a wheelbarrow or a dolly. I would certainly recommend getting a friend or a family member to help you to move those bales very carefully, but just pick them up and move them to where you want them to be. If the place that you chose doesn't work out, you're not married to it because those things can move. And that's one of the things that's super great about straw bale gardening.